Welcome to video 3 of 3 in the Junk Journal Workshop book series by artist Trisha Jacobs. We will be working on Chapter 1, Page 8, Miniature Flower Watercolor Paintings. There are a couple of ways that we did the paintings in this book. The first way is by putting a wet wash on the watercolor paper. You can do this by either taping the watercolor paper down with masking tape, or you can leave it freeform as in this picture. As you can see, we put a light green wash on the paper to begin with using palette watercolor. You can dilute the colors by adding water onto a butcher's tray or within your palette. We then added star-shaped flowers, red and orange. You can test your colors alongside the page as we did in this video. Star-shaped flowers were added carefully to each painting, then allowing the paint to dry between layers. I added more flowers on top of the first ones. Don't worry if they bleed together. You can correct this by painting on top more layers or with a paint pen. Once the first set of paintings are completed, I add small details with less diluted watercolor painting and paint pens. Then I started another set of watercolor paintings, which you can see here are taped to my work area using masking tape. This is optional, as we don't want to damage the paper or your work surface. This set of paintings began with a water wash lightly applied to the 4.5 by 6 inch papers, then added green stems lightly on each page. I switched green colors and added some darker stems, and then continued to build up the layers on all the pages, allowing the layers to dry in between. Notice the stems were painted vertically on each side of the paper, so that later, when we punch out the miniature watercolor paintings, you can punch the paper from either side. Continue to add stems, leaves, and flowers in layers for each painting. It is easy to create multiple paintings at once this way. A hairdryer was used to speed up the process. Leaves are added in multiple shades of green on top of the dried paintings. Notice the clean white edges around these paintings from being taped off with masking tape. Shown here are acrylic paint pens. The paint pens draw easily on top of the dried watercolors and contrast nicely to the darker colors. White and then cream colored Posca paint pens were used to create the centers of the flowers. You can find the link for these paint pens in the details section underneath this video. This concludes our 3-part series of the Junk Journal Workshop Chapter 1 Paintings. These miniature paintings are easy to create on the 4.5 by 6 inch watercolor paper. When you are finished with your project, you can punch out the paintings and make small paintings to include in your journal or cards to send to friends. Thank you for joining us. Please tag us in your finished artwork. We'd love to see what you've created at Greenbelly Studios. Thank you for joining us. If you would like to learn more about the products used in this video, you can follow the link below in the information about this video box. The Journal Workshop book series by artist Trisha Jacobs is available on Amazon.